Hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a great day. My name's Jeff. Welcome to Brickscale Studio. This is episode one of the Fanhome versus LEGO Build the DeLorean. Today we are going to be building issues 1 through 4 of the partwork and steps 1 through 14 of the LEGO DeLorean. Let's get into it. I started out with Eagle Moss, and then they went out of business, and now Fanhome is doing the model. So my first round of parts are going to be, you're going to see Eagle Moss on the cover, but as we move along, we'll see more of the other. All right, so the first issue, let's get into it. This is the magazine. Here are our parts. We're going to be doing the back bumper and part of the taillights. So the first part of the magazine is the instructions. So we're going to go through these steps, and then you get some facts about the movie and about time travel and just some fun behind the scenes information. These look like some prototypes of the car, some information on Michael J. Fox, and then these are the parts we're getting for next time for issue 2. And these are, again, the parts that we have in this issue. So here we go. Here is issue 1. So let's crack that open. So here are our parts. First thing we're going to be doing is attaching these two sections. It's a little tricky getting it out of here. So we're going to be attaching these two sections, and they're going to go together just like this. And they're going to be attached on this side using BP screws. All right, so I'm going to use a little tray just to keep things from rolling around, especially these screws. I don't want to lose them. So these are the BP screws. Now, our first pack does come with a screwdriver. Now, you're going into plastic, so you don't want to tighten these too tight, just until they're tight. You don't want to risk over tightening them and cracking the plastic. So we're going to use 4 of these screws. Right, and that is the first part together, looking like this. Next, we're going to take the taillight section, which is the section here, and we're going to flip it over, and we're going to put our taillight sections in. So and then we have this section here. Now this section here that goes in the middle, I'm sure you won't be able to see it, but it has a little DMC logo on it. So you want to make sure that that is up toward the top. Now, these are just held in by gravity at the moment. So what we're going to want to do, there's a little tab here that's going to fit in a little tab here, and then we're going to screw it in with one screw. Now, it's going to be easy. You're going to want to do this upside down and let gravity be your friend. So we're going to use the same BP screws. So I'm going to take this just like this, and I'm going to hold it and fit that tab so it fits in there just like that. And that'll just set down in there. And then we will screw it in from the other side with one of the BP screws. All right, now that is perfect. So that's sitting in there. And the cool thing about it is, sort of a spoiler alert, These holes are there to receive lights, so this will light up when we get finished, with the finished model. All right, the next step, we are going to be working with the license plate. We have that right here. And we're going to be applying a little sticker. Now, I've watched some other videos on this, and it can be a tad fiddly, so let's see what happens. This is where some tweezers might come in handy. Oh my goodness, yes. These are very small little stickers. So there's 2 of them, and you can't really make them out all that well. This one that has an orange top is going to go on the left side of the license plate, and this one with the gold is going to go on the right side of the license plate. Now, there are some mods out there that have better stickers that make them a little bit better. So I do have some modifications from Mike Lane Mods. One of them is this vinyl sticker set. Included are some better stickers. I'll take a picture and give you a close-up of these, but you can see they are way better than the stickers that came in the set. You can actually read the words on them. So we're going to go ahead and grab this first one, and we want it right about there. And here is the second one. I got mine a little crooked, but it's all good. Now there's 2 sets, so you're going to want to save the other set. So I'm just going to put it back in this bag. All right, so now we're going to take the license plate holder, and you want to make sure these 2 lugs are on top. So this is going to sit right in here like that. And again, this is going to be held in with AP screws this time. So let me grab those, and then we'll just pop this right in. Again, you're going into plastic, so no need to over tighten. So give that a turn, and we'll finish with the first one. All right, and there we go. There's our license plate. Now we've got this little license plate lights, and that's going to hook on notches in the top here that this will sit down in. And then again, we're going to put these in with some AP screws. So that's going to sit right in there. Got the first one in, and here we go with the second one. So great, there we go there. Now we've got another part of the bumper here to go. So this is just going to snap right in here, and you want to make sure that, so it says DeLorean right here, so you want to make sure that that is facing the right way. And this is just going to clip in. There's no screws required, so this just clips in. And you'll hear it click, and you just make sure that you're all in. And there you have it. That is all there is to issue 1. Now, obviously, eventually this is going to go in here. But we need to put in our other taillights, so that'll be coming up in the next issue. All right, now we're on to issue 2. So here's the booklet. So here are all of our parts. Here's our instructions. Looks like we're going to be doing this fender piece, and we're going to be doing the other side of the tail light. And that's all we got. So here we have more information about the movie, more information about the car, all that kind of good stuff. Oh, and the next issue, it looks like we're going to be doing a wheel. So let's get into this. All right, so here's our part pack for issue 2. I'm going to bring my tray back over so we have a place to put these screws when we need them. So it looks like we got more AP and BP screws. So the first stage that we're going to be doing is we're going to be attaching some trim to this fender. So we're going to use AP screws. And so the first piece, so you can see that there are little indentations, and these have angles on the end. So you want to make sure that you get the angles correct. So then you're just going to put these right down in, just like so. And then we're going to put these on with some AP screws. So let me get those going. Again, you're going into plastic. Now it's real important on this piece to not do it too tight because you will actually warp the piece of molding, so it won't sit correctly. So again, just finger tight. And now you see we have that piece of molding in. Alrighty, so now we have this smaller piece, and again, this has an angle on it that you want to match with, and this one actually has a bigger hole, a bigger lug, and a smaller lug. So this is the one you're going to be putting the screw into, and then this one is a smaller one, and there's a larger hole and a smaller hole. So it makes it real easy to line up. So it can only go in one way. So it goes in just like that, and we're going to be putting this in with one AP screw. And again, it's going into that hole right there. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right, what is next? So we're going to set this aside, and let's get back in. We've got our other taillight that we need to do. So this is just like the other one. So we're going to go ahead and slot our pieces in here. And again, remember, this little square one has a little teeny tiny DMC up here. So you want to make sure that goes at the top. And then we have our clear, and that sits right in there just like that. So we're going to bring over our piece from last time, our bumper piece from last time. And again, let gravity help you with this. So I'm going to go ahead, this is going in with a BP screw. So then that's going in with the BP. All right, so there is our completed taillights. Now it's interesting, it looks like this is from issue 1 and this is from issue 2, and it looks like this is more clear and this one is a little more opaque. That's kind of interesting. Now our next step is we're going to be putting in the license plate. Now that we've got both of our tail lights in, that's just going to sit in just like that, and we're going to put those in with AP screws, and those are going to go here and here. So there we go. There's one. All right, so there is the completed back bumper. So that's it. That's all there is to do for issue 2. All right, here we are with issue 3. So it looks like here's our parts. It looks like we're working on a wheel. So that's very cool. So there's our instructions. And here we go. And some more information about the movie. A little information about Steven Spielberg. More information on the car. And then we've got Marty McFly. We got Michael J. Fox. And we have Eric Stoltz. I don't know how many of you knew that Eric Stoltz was cast first, and they actually started filming with him, and then he was replaced with Michael J. Fox. And we got some info on Doc Brown, and then we got a preview of issue 4. here are the parts for issue 3. So let's get into this. We've got this tire, which is rubber. It's very cool. So both sides are the same, so you don't have to worry about getting the same parts. This is metal, very heavy. And then we've got, this is plastic. First, we're gonna put this piece in here. You don't need to soak this in hot water or anything. It just slides right in really easy. Wow, that's really solid. And we're just gonna line up the lugs. Right there. We're gonna screw it in with 3 BP screws. And we'll get this last one in. Don't over tighten. All right, so that is our first wheel. Now it says to put, we've got a little washer. Let me bring back my tray so you can maybe see it a little bit easier here. So we've got our extra BP screw, our tire, and then we've got a little cover and a little washer. So they want us to put this in here, but I know from watching other videos that this is how you are attaching the wheel to the car. So when it comes to that step, you're going to have to pop this out. So I'm not going to put those in. I am going to keep these safe in a little baggie and put them aside until we get to the portion where we're attaching the wheels. So that is all there is for step 3. Step 4, or issue 4. So here's a list of our parts. Now, I'm not going to lie. This one I have we've got a lot of things to do, and I've been kind of dreading this issue because when we get to this step here, this step here, there are these teeny tiny little springs that we have to put on here, and watching other videos, yeah, this is a little frustrating. So I imagine we're going to have some issues. So please bear with me when we get to this step. And of course, it's step 13, obviously. All right. So here again, we've got some more information about the movie and the car. So they really do a good job packaging, giving you all this cool information. And then here we have a sneak peek into issue 5. All right, so let's get into it. Here is our parts for issue 4. Now it's interesting. So what we're doing here is we're building the plutonium reactor, which is from Back to the Future 1. But then remember at the end of Back to the Future 1, when Doc Brown comes and he's using he's coming back from the future and he's found out a way to make it work with Mr. Fusion. So we're doing both. We're building the plutonium from the first movie, and then we're building the Mr. Fusion for the end of the first movie. And you'll have the choice when you finish the model, like which one you want to display. All right, so the first thing we're going to be working with is the reactor. So we need this piece. And this is just going to slot. There's a little tab here, and then there's a little notch. So we are going to line those up, and that's going to fit right in there. All right, and then we are going to attach this piece. There's 3 holes here that we'll need to attach these 2 parts. One of them is a little bit bigger, and there's a locating lug right down here. So we're just going to line up that lug. Perfect, and then that should help us line up the screw holes. And we are going to put that in with some AP screws. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring back my tray so that we can keep track of these screws. So again, we're just going to take this and we're going to match up that lug with this part. It's going to sit right on there like that. We're going to take a AP screw. And that's going to go right down there. All right, so there we have that piece. Now we are going to take this little clear piece. So that is going to go right here. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch to a PH00 screwdriver because my goodness, these are teeny tiny. All right, so we got that one in. All right, now we're going to start working on the Mr. Fusion reactor, and this is the part that I am nervous about because, like I said, once we get to that part with the springs, oh my goodness. So here we go with Mr. Fusion. This just sort of snaps together. And then we're going to put this in with 3 AP screws. Now we can go back to our like normal screwdriver here. We've got this clear piece, and we got this other clear piece. And that's just going to sit in there, I am guessing, but then we are going to slot this in here. This is gonna be tricky. Yep. Well, it helps if you put it in the right way. That's for one thing. So there is a little lug and it does snap in there. Like once, you get it. Okay. So we are good with that. Now we're gonna take the lid, and these are just snap. There's no, just snap to fit. There's no screws involved. All right, so we're taking these 2 parts. We're doing AP screws again. So now there's a large hole and then a smaller one. You want the larger hole to be facing this way. So this is going to go in just like this. And then we're going to secure that in from either side with, well, I shouldn't say either. I should say both sides with AP screws. So let me grab this other one here. So there we have that piece. So now we're going to take, what are they calling this? The fusion chamber. And we're going to be placing this on top. That's going to go right there. So this side has 2 holes on it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but this side has 2 holes on it. This side has 1 hole on it. This is the side that we want to put this on, and it's going to match up with that screw hole. And you can see that that now opens and closes. Just going to give that, there we go. So that opens and closes, so perfect. Okay, so now we're going to attach Mr. Fusion, and it's going to go around this way, and you'll see there is a small locating lug and then the screw hole, so it can only go on one way. So there we go, and yes, we're doing our good friend Mr. AP screw. I'm sure you're all watching this and thinking, oh my gosh, what a struggle bus. And you are correct. I mean, this is my first partwork model. First one. So you're doing it right along with me for the very first time. Okay, we got it on. So there's that piece. All right, now we're getting closer and closer to the nightmare piece. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. All right, so this is the nightmare piece. So this is the little parts here that the springs will attach to. But we want this piece, and then we want this little teeny piece right here. So this is going to go right there. And we're doing a DP. I do not have any DP screws. According to these instructions, I should have had a pack of AP screws, a pack of CP screws, and a pack of DP screws. And I do not have DP screws. So yes, I did not get the DP screws, but I used 2 of the CP screws to attach, and that worked well. So now we are going to go on to this other side, and we have a locating lug and a screw hole. Actually, we're going to go on just like this. All right, and we are going to put that on with an AP screw. Alrighty, so we got that in. So that's going to be the little clip that holds the Mr. Fusion reactor. Okay, so the moment of truth. This is where we're dealing with these little springs, which you probably can't even see, but they are in there and they are really small. And so again, they want us to use DP screws, which I do not have. So we are going to use the CP screws and hope that we don't need them for a future step or they give us more. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so nervous about this. Like, I just envision these springs just pinging off to nowhere and oh my gosh, okay. Yeah, my goodness. Okay. So there are little lugs on there. All right. So I have them on there. So again, I'm using my smallest screwdriver here. All right. So I got one on. Let me try something else. Okay, I did it. Don't ask me. That was that was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Also, I ended up using. I have this set of magnifying glasses, so I use that for assistance. So, all right. So we just want to attach these 2 pieces together again with our AP screws. Again, not only is this the first part work I'm doing ever, this is the first video I'm making of a part work. So once I go back and watch this footage, I can already tell there's some lighting issues. So I will go ahead and remedy that for our next video. But I am working with one camera, so I'm trying to make sure everything is in view so you can see everything. So, please bear with me while I work out these kinks. All right, so that is that. We are good. I still can't believe I got the spring thing to work. So next, let's bring back all of our parts for the Back to the Future, the Fanhome Back to the Future. So that was issue 4. And then we had our wheel, which was in issue 3. We had our fender, or wing if you're in the UK, and our bumper with the tail lights and the license plate. So that is issues 1 through 4 of the partwork build. So let's move on to the LEGO DeLorean. Welcome back, everybody. Now we're going to move on to the LEGO DeLorean. So here it is. So this is set 10300. We have 1,872 pieces. So now we're not going to do the entire model in this build. We're going to do phases just like the partwork model. So we're going to be doing, I believe for every 4 issues of the partwork model equals 14 steps for this LEGO version. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the first 14 steps, and then we'll see where we're at. So let's unbox this and get going. Get it? All right. So now if you're new to LEGO, we have numbered bags. And it's fairly straightforward. You pretty much, you start with bag 1, and then you move on to bag 2. We have some additional parts that are not numbered. This looks like the windshield, the tires, and some other little parts here that we'll set aside. So let me sort through all these parts. Here is our instruction manual, and it looks like we do have a sticker sheet. All right, so there's our sticker sheet. There's our manual. So we'll talk more about this in just a second and the sticker sheets. So let me get all these parts organized and I will be right back. So we're going to do, like I said in the introduction, we're going to do 4 issues of the Fanhome and 14 steps in the DeLorean, the LEGO DeLorean. But before we get started, look on your LEGO manuals. If you have this little barcode down here, scan that with your phone and it will register your set in the LEGO Builder app, but it will also give you 20 insider points. So, they scan multiple manuals and those really start to add up. So let's get into this. Just like in the Fanhome manual, we have some facts about the DeLorean and some photos, some information about the designer. So just like the Fanhome version, we have some options for customization, which we'll talk about toward the end of the build. And now let's move on to the minifigures. Here's Marty. He's got alternate faces. That's the first one. Here's the second one. And he's also got a printed torso and printed legs. So let's get his hair on. And all in all, a pretty great looking minifig. So the next one is Doc Brown. And again, he has alternate faces. I like the one with the sunglasses. So let's get the hair on him. And then let's move into the build. So I am going to be time-lapsing some of the build, the more tedious parts. Here, we're just starting the base of the DeLorean with some Technic pieces. This is pretty standard for LEGO vehicles. This is going to provide a very strong base from which everything else will be attached. Here I want to talk a little bit about part picking. Up until now, all of our steps have just involved 1 or 2 parts, but in this step, we have multiple parts that we need in order to complete this step. So rather than pick each part from my large pile of parts, I'm going to pick only those pieces that I need for this step. I'm going to pick all of them and set them aside. This is just sort of a quality check that will help you know that you've completed this step successfully and you haven't missed any pieces. It's really easy to get distracted if you're just picking parts from the main pile. You get a text message, somebody calls from another room, and then you forget where you left off and you think you finished the step, but maybe you've missed some pieces. This way, if you have the pieces for this step set aside, you know exactly where you're at in this step and whether you've completed it or not. And it just makes it, like I said, it's just sort of a quality control, and it makes it easier to know that you've completed the entire step. All right, back to the time lapse. That concludes the building for today. Just to summarize, we have completed issues 1 through 4 of the partwork build, and that consisted of 40 separate steps, and we used 41 parts. And we completed steps 1 through 14 of the LEGO DeLorean build, and we used 98 parts. So, coming up in episode 2, we will be moving on to issues 5 through 8 and in the partwork, and steps 15 through 28 in the LEGO DeLorean. So until then, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon.